Hello, this is Tomlin from TomlinHarmonicaschool.com, and this week I'm going to answer a question that I get asked all the time, which is, how long should my harmonica last? And it's one of those questions that's actually quite difficult to answer. Before I answer it though, I gotta ask you something. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit that little bell icon next to it so you get notified every time I upload a harmonica video. Okay, so how long should a harmonica last? Well, it's a little bit like asking how long is a piece of string. There are a lot of variables at play. And really it depends on what kind of player you are. If you're a very aggressive player, you'll find your harmonicas don't last as long as if you are a very gentle player. Also depends on the brand and the model of the harmonica. So I thought I would put it to my audience and my students and find out how long harmonicas last for you. And I just thought I'd read some of the anecdotes that have come through. So John said, I play almost exclusively Hohnes. I play at least 2 hours a day across many keys. I used to get 6 months out of my Hohner C harp, then I got about 9 months. Now I can't remember when I replaced it last. I just replaced my B-flat reeds and that harp was at least 18 months old. It does make a difference how I play. It's very instinctual to play hard when the blood gets hot. So this is a very common theme that when you first start playing, you generally play too hard and you'll probably break harmonicas more frequently. And as you get more and more finesse in your playing, you'll break them less frequently, and you know how to play it properly. Let's look at what Alan said. Alan said, my Hohner blues harps are going on 3 years now, no issues. I play an hour or two a day, 2 to 3 times a week. I still have my first marine band going on 12 years and it still plays amazingly. Very cool. So Mike, who has Zeidels, he has Zeidel Nobles in 6 keys, and with 3 years of pretty heavy use, he has had 2 reeds go bad at around the 2.5 year mark. And ironically, it was the 5-draw reed on both the A and C harmonica. So this is a really important thing to think about, because I see the 5-draw reed breaking very, very frequently for less experienced players. And the reason for that is that there isn't really a bend on the 5-draw reed. So if you go at it with the intention to bend like you would on a 4-draw, you do that up on the 5-draw, you can get a little bit of a kind of quarter tone bend, but what people do is they put all of that bending power into it and they wail on that 5-draw, and eventually the reed just gives up. It gets really tired and you get reed fatigue. So that's something that you need to think about if you want to prolong the life of your harmonicas. Think about which reeds are supposed to bend and how far they're supposed to bend, and don't use too much bending power on them. That's an important thing. Okay, so next one was from Rajeev, who said, I'm new to harmonica playing and I use a Hohner Silver Star C harmonica and it lasted for 3 months. So there are 2 things that I would think about here. So Rajeev said that they're new to playing, so potentially playing too hard. I don't know without hearing, but the Hohner Silver Star, it's one of those harmonicas, unfortunately, that I have heard mixed reviews about, and maybe isn't as well built as some of Hohner's other harmonicas, like the Special 20, the Marine Band, the Deluxe, etc., etc. Okay, so next person is one of my students, Dave, has said, when I started playing it was with Lee Oscar and they never lasted long. Then I came across this music teacher called Tomlin, that's me, who taught me to relax and blow gently. Since then I've changed to Golden Melodies, Rockets and SB20, Special 20s, and in 3 years they haven't broken. So I would say that it's not the Lee Oscar issue, it's the playing gently, and it's great that Dave has changed his playing technique. So really, it doesn't actually matter what brand of harmonica you use. Hohners have soft brass reeds, as do Lee Oscars. Suzuki's have slightly stiffer, I think it's an alloy, a phosphor bronze reed, so they might last a little bit longer for the same player. And Zeidel generally have stainless steel reeds, which are bomb-proof and will last a lot longer if you're a heavier player. But it all comes down to what kind of player you are. If you're a gentle player, all of those harmonicas will last a decent chunk of time. For me, I jump between all three brands and I've not noticed any big difference between how long they last. So it doesn't really matter what brand of harmonica you use. If you want to prolong the life of your harmonica, remember to play more gently. That's really important. And more gently equals less air pressure and tension. If you're really kind of pulling hard and aggressively, then your reeds are going to undergo a lot of stress, and metal fatigues. And when metal fatigues, it will eventually break. Another thing that I would say is that it's important to maintain your harmonicas nicely. So think about cleaning them on a regular basis. Get all of the gunk out of them, and that means fully disassembling and then cleaning and then reassembling. And that sounds scary, but it's definitely worth learning how to do it. I've got a couple of lessons about it, so click on the link in the description below or on the card to get those lessons, how to clean your harmonica. And then when it does come to the end of your harmonica's life, how do you know that it's the end? Well, there are a couple of things to think about. Firstly, it's never the end. It might just be time to either get your harmonica tuned or to replace a reed. These are things that you can learn to do, or you can get someone else to do it for you. But you'll notice that a note will suddenly sound very, very different. So you'll be playing and you'll be playing the scales like you do every day, and then one of the notes in the sequence sounds very, very different. Generally, I notice this with players around the 4 draw and the 5 draw. Those are the notes that quite often go, because those are notes that get overplayed and overplayed too hard. So you'll hear that the pitch suddenly changes a lot, and you can try retuning it, but in all likelihood that reed is probably going to break. But you can get the reeds replaced, or you can replace them yourself. Another thing to watch out for is if you're playing tongue split octaves, you will hear something called beating if the reeds are starting to go out of tune. Now, if you hear just slight beating, which basically means that you can kind of sense a pulse when you're playing. I don't have any harmonicas that are out of tune at the moment, so I can't demonstrate it, but you hear this pulse, and that's a sign that one of the reeds is out of tune with the other reed, and it's time to get the reed tuned. Doesn't mean you should throw the harmonica away, okay? And then final thought, if you have a really, really dead reed and you think it's broken, clean it first, because sometimes it's just got a little bit of crud in there, and that's all that's wrong. So final thoughts, final thoughts, I've said that a lot today. Check out my video about whether you should bother tuning your harmonicas, because I think it's important to know about these things. So click on the link in the description below for that, or click up on the card that's going to pop up. And yeah, remember to play gently and prolong the life of your harmonicas, and remember to get a decent harmonica. All right, hope that answered your question. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up by hitting the like button, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit that little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new harmonica video every week. All right, take it easy. Happy harping.